Okay, greetings, I bid to all and welcome to the National ICT Security Discourse, Cyber Safe Challenge Trophy 2021. Virtual Discourse. The virtual discourse for this year, Octo Final, is now in session. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. I am Nurazia Juso from Cybersecurity Malaysia, and I will officially preside as the chairperson for today's discourse session. Assisting me today will be our timekeeper, Puan Nohanan Kamarudin from Cybersecurity Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, the proposal for today's discourse is: society has adopted technology rapidly but has not been able to maintain appropriate conduct, causing online social disharmony. Propose a code of ethics to combat this problem. To present this respective proposal for the National ICT Security Discourse, Cyber Safe Challenge Trophy 2021 virtual discourse in this round, let me introduce Team A from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Datuk Razali Ismail, Terengganu. Presenter 1 will be Wan Afiqah Syatirah binti Wan Musbah. Okay, presenter 2 will be Muhammad Afnan bin Saad. And the last one, technical expert, will be Ahmad Al-Fats bin Muhammad Aswad. For Team B, from Victoria Institution, Kuala Lumpur, presenter 1 will be Raja Nazrin Afandi bin Raja Kamarul Arifin. Presenter 2 will be Muhammad Bazil Haikal bin Zil Akmal. And for the technical expert, there will be no representative. For Team C, will be from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Iskandar Shah Melaka. Presenter 1 will be Rishi Keshan Kali Selvan. From presenter 2, Tanish Waran Tiagu. And last one, technical expert, is Yunis Eng Ziyu. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, let us give a round of applause to our esteemed panel of experts, or POEs, who will be adjudicating today's discourse, comprising of Chief POE, which is Dr. Zahari Yunus from Cybersecurity Malaysia, Muhammad Yusri bin Hazif from Ministry of Education, and last one, Dr. Ruzana binti Tukimin from Ministry of Education. Since that Sekolah Menengah Datuk Razali Ismail is really eager to start now, okay, without further ado, presenting the National ICT Security Discourse Cyber Safe Challenge Trophy 2021 virtual discourse for the topic: society has adopted technology rapidly but has not been able to maintain appropriate conduct, causing online social disharmony. Propose code of ethics to combat this problem. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for the opening pitch, I would like to call upon the first presenter from Team A, which is Wan Afiqah Syatirah binti Wan Musbah from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Datuk Razali Ismail, Terengganu, to deliver his or her proposal. Okay, we start now.
Test. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. I'm the first speaker from SMK Dato' Razali Ismail. For the first part, I'm going to give some definitions on the keywords and issues related to the topic. For the second part, my friend will present our solution and how to enforce it. According to Oxford Learning Dictionary, technology is scientific knowledge used in particular ways. In our context, we will focus on the internet. The internet has both positive and negative effects. Disharmony, in our context, is issues or problems caused by the internet. So, we are going to cover the negative sides. Online society means community whose members
Terbalik.
interact with each other
Jam
primarily
akak terbalik.
via the internet or known as virtual members. Last but not least, code of ethics is guideline or policies. So we will propose the acceptable behaviors in using internet. Society has adopted technology rapidly. Yes, it is true. According to United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNTAD, there has been a dramatically accelerating pace in the development and adoption of new technologies. Recently, University Malaysia Sabah organized their first international conference on society and technologies. This reflects that Malaysians also started to have interest in the use of technology in their daily life. Now, let me narrow down the focus on technology of internet in Malaysia. As shown, the internet users in Malaysia are increasing every year since 2010. In 2020, 28.38 million people were accessing the internet in Malaysia, and by the end of this year, it will reach 29.03 million users. But believe me, the number for this year will be much bigger than that. Why? Because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Most things are carried out online, including education. Even for kindergarten children, they have also been exposed to online learning since last year. This rapid technology of internet is affecting our country in almost every aspect, especially society. It is undeniably that the use of internet brings a lot of benefits to the society, especially students, but we cannot ignore the negative sides of the internet to students too. Without appropriate conduct, this will bring disharmony among school students. According to Oxford Learning Dictionary, cyberbullying is the activity of using messages on social media to frighten or upset somebody. According to a global survey, Malaysia is among world top countries where parents have reported their children experiencing cyberbullies. In an article published in 2018 by tech review site Comparitech, Malaysia ranked 6th among 28 countries in a survey on cyberbullying around the world. When we compare to only Asian countries, Malaysia ranked 2nd behind India, which was placed 1st on the list. This is very serious issues and action should be taken. A survey by Malaysian Against Pornography in 2018 found that 80% of children aged 10 to 17 have watched pornography intentionally. This statistic should not be taken lightly. Easy access to the internet, especially among students, may expose them to pornography. Studies found that viewing online pornography was associated with increased sexual violence and clouded mental function. Experts believe that children and youth are more vulnerable than adults because they can easily access pornographic sites and are eventually addicted to them. That's all from me. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now for the opening pitch from Team B, Victoria Institution Kuala Lumpur, I would like to call upon first presenter Raja Nazrid Afandi bin Raja Kamaru Arifin to present his proposal.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. I am Raja Nazrin from Victoria Institution Kuala Lumpur, the first speaker for today, and my group's problem statement is: society has adopted technology rapidly but has not been able to maintain appropriate conduct, causing online social disharmony. Propose a code of ethics to combat this problem. So as you can see, there's a lot to digest here. Allow me to break it down. Society. Society is a big term. It involves many people and it encompasses local and international communities. Locally, There are households, towns and cities, school communities, and workplace communities. All these collectively make up our nation's society. Next, internationally, there are diplomatic delegations and intergovernmental organizations that link many global societies, forming today's human civilization as we know it. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, the rapid adoption of technology. So, technology, we know it to be the application of scientific knowledge used to enhance human productivity. Essentially, it helps humans in conducting their day-to-day activities. So much so that with the evolution of technology, the internet is getting increasingly more accessible to all communities, that even people from the most rural of areas have access to the internet and they use smart devices daily. This evolution has led to the digitalization of many sectors, from commerce to personal finance to education and communication. For example, today we've got digital learning platforms like Google Classroom and virtual modes of communication like Google Meet and Zoom. We've got financial institutions chasing digital banking license issued by the Malaysian Central Bank. Basically, this rapid adoption of technology is due to the increasing demand by both producers and consumers. As you can see here, from the diagram, there is an upward of 80% of all Malaysians that have access to the internet. And from January 2020 to January 2021, there was an increase of 2.8% in the numbers of internet users. That is a 738,000 increase in the Malaysian community. Appropriate conduct. We can see that generally it's being well behaved on digital platforms. So, for example, that's avoiding sensitive topics. Well, about sensitive topics, they're normally sensitive because it contains an underlying issue that is unjust towards a specific group of people. So avoiding it completely is one thing, but when it is a relevant conversation to be had, then it is about being mindful to whom it may concern. And of course, it's also about not spreading misinformation, hate, or cyberbullying. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, online social disharmony. The Malaysian colloquial terms netizen and keyboard warriors are often heard when discussing online hate speech. When these keyboard warriors dominate the digital platform, it can create a toxic environment for all users when they see the rude and derogatory comments posted by them. In some cases, it promotes insecurities, causing people to self-hate and self-blame. For example, when a person with a large following uploads a photo of themselves, these netizens and keyboard warriors are quick to comment nasty things such as calling them ugly and pointing out their flaws and imperfections. Some even going as far as threatening their loved ones and causing him or her to feel uneasy and unsafe when using social media. Next, I will be quoting Dr. Narendra Nagarwal from the Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. The news and views spread so rapidly through social media that may cause turbulence and social disharmony. The social media topic contained pertinent pluses, but on the same tone, while recognizing the multiple merits of social media, the perils too need to be tackled prudently. Here, he acknowledges that though social media brings about opportunity, it too comes with its own set of cons, and that because of social media, news and information, be it true or false, can spread instantly and can lead to instilling hate, violence, and panic in the online community. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all very much.
Thank you, Raja Nazrin from Vitora Institutions. Now, proceeding further into this exciting session, ladies and gentlemen, Team C will now present their proposal. Please welcome first presenter of Team C, Rishi Keshan Kalisevan from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Iskandar Shah Melaka.
Hi everybody and good morning everyone. Myself Rishikeshan Kalaselvan and I'm from SMK Iskandar Shah Melaka. Today I'm going to talk about my title, which is Society has adapted technology rapidly but has not been able to maintain appropriate conduct, causing online social disharmony. Propose a code of ethics to combat this problem. First of all, the technology has advanced tremendously. We might live with AI, that is artificial intelligence. First in 1960s, technology had a little impact. 10 years after till now, technology play a vital role in academic purposes, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic. The growth of technology is unstoppable. We can see now flying cars is not impossible. What more so we are humanoid? Now here we have the whole world in our fingertip. We must use this advantage wisely to help humankind rather than destroying it. But do most of us use the technology for good purposes? We can separate technology users into two, which are good users who use technology for educational purpose, work purposes. Well, there is also entertainment purpose. Don't we all love Lady Gaga and more? On the other hand, there are some keyboard warriors are using the technology to disrupt the harmony in the society, like hacking, cyberbullying, defamation, and we need the key to unlock the disharmony among society. So, what is online disharmony? Social disharmony is caused by our desire to cause harm to other, be in racial remark or condemning people or bully, which is dangerously divisive and disrupts the harmony in our society. David Goguan said there are two main types of defamation: libel or written defamation and slander or verbal defamation. When a potentially defamatory statement is made online or through social media, such as via Facebook or LinkedIn, that involves the written word, and so it considered defamation. Social media is very powerful medium nowadays. Ethics with social media. Youngsters between the age of 8 to 15 are still learning how to interact with the people around them and are deciding on the normal moral values that they will embrace. These moral values will help to dictate how they will interact with the world around them. The ethical values that guide our interactions are usually formulated from some moral principle taught to us by someone or group of individuals, including parents, guardians, religious groups, and teachers, just to name a few. Many of the Gen Ys or digital babies are newbies, yet are required to determine for themselves the level of responsibility they will display when using the varying social media platforms. This includes considering the impact a post will have on their lives and the lives of the other persons. They must also understand that when they join a social media network, they are joining a community in which certain behavior must be exhibited. Such responsibility requires a much greater level of maturity that can be expected from them at that age. That's all from me, and thank you.
Rishikeshan. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after hearing the opening pitches from the team leaders of Team A, B, and C respectively, it is now time to call upon the second presenters. We shall begin by calling upon the second presenter from Team A to enlighten us with the follow-up points to their proposal. Please give a big hand to Muhammad Afnan bin Saad from Sekolah Menengah Datuk Razali Ismail, Terengganu.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. I'm the second speaker from SMK Datuk Razali Ismail, and I'm going to continue our second part of our proposal. As my teammate said earlier, in this new modern world, the school students have engaged with the internet either for social, entertainment, daily life, or for educational purposes. Some of them are not prepared to face the negative side of the internet and the problems that may arise. So we come up with a simple and important code of ethics to combat this issue, which is SAHIH, S-A-H-I-H. SAHIH is an acronym for 5 simple guidelines or policies, but very important for students to be good internet users. The first letter, S, is set boundaries. Teachers and parents need to expose the kids to online safety by creating a set of do's and don'ts. For example, don't spread fake news and do verify any news you get from online. Yes, although Malaysia Communication and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, have blocked sites with explicit content, there is still serious concern over the misuse of the internet. If mishandled, it could bring problems to the students. Next, A is avoid bad language. Students must not use rude or bad language while using email, chatting, blogging, or social networking. They need to respect others and should not criticize anyone on the internet, even if they disagree on certain things. People always think that it is okay to post anything online, maybe just for fun or to gain more likes, as they are on virtual. But actually, all netizens are able to view it, and some of them will get the fun negatively. Next, H is hide personal information. It is the most common mistake students always make. They always share their personal information with others. They should not reveal their personal details like home address, phone numbers, interests, or passwords. No photograph should be sent to strangers because it might be misused and shared with others without your knowledge. Remember, security is a very important aspect in the cyber world. The letter I is identity. They must be honest and use the real identity while they are online. Normally, students have more than one social account and they like to pretend to be someone else. They should never use the internet to fool others. Hiding our own identity to fool others in the internet world is a crime and may also be a risk to others. Lastly, H is help and encouragement. Everyone should always practice this as a habit. It is everyone's responsibility to support these young internet users to have awareness in using internet. If someone is bullied online, they should alert the school authorities or parents about this problem. If they just keep this problem to themselves and don't take any action, the victims can turn to be new bullies and this cycle will never stop. How to enforce Sahih in school? We will create an apps. This Sahih apps is a mean to shape the personality and identity of students to practice noble values and noble character in using the internet. Sahih aims to record student misconduct in cyber world. With this record, all parties are concerned in accessing data on student misconducts for the purpose of controlling and overcoming disciplinary problem among students. For beginners, Sahih apps consist of three categories of users, namely students, school, and parents. The main function of Sahih apps are serve as a platform to students or victims to report online misconduct, record a case of students' online misconduct, store detailed student and school information, generate and display online misconduct statistic reports. Here are the dashboard of students profile and parents profile in Sahih apps. On students profile dashboard, the school and teacher can check the student's latest record on online misconduct. They can also view the previous record of students' misconduct cases. If they want to add new PE report, they can just click the add button. On parents profile, parents will get the notification when their children are reported online misconduct. Once the teachers verify the reported cases, parents can view the details for each misconduct. As the internet is an important asset for information and learning, everyone should fully utilize Sahih in helping the students. This is important because without any proper advice or supervision, students can be easily manipulated by what they see or hear online. This Sahih will be the first step to ensure that students can be good internet users by having proper conduct while online, and everyone can learn using the internet safely without worry. To conclude, using the internet is just like using a knife. If we use it correctly and wisely, it is a helpful tool. But if we use it wrongly, it can cause harm. Therefore, we should not just avoid using the internet. Instead, we should learn how to use it properly. This is why Sahih is very important. First step to shape the students to practice noble values and noble character in using the internet. Thank you very much, and this is all from us.
Just heard interesting sahih proposal raised by the second speaker from Team A. Thank you, Muhammad Afnan. Okay, now we continue the session with the second presenter from Team B. A big hand to Muhammad Bazil Haikal bin Nizil Akmal from Victoria Institution.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes, you can
Okay, thank
proceed
you.
with your presentation.
All right. Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone in attendance. I'm Bazil Haikal, the second speaker, and I will be proposing a code of ethics to help mitigate the negative effects of rapid adoption of technology. So here is our proposal. Our three pillars of cyber ethics, which is supervision, education, and consideration. First of all, let's talk about supervision. When sharing a large platform with many users, you can rely on the online community to keep checks and balances on content that is put out. These users can point out ignorance as well as educate and inform others. And because of this, most people who make mistakes aren't truly ignorant, but they are unaware. However, one is truly ignorant when they are aware of being uninformed and not knowing but chose to remain so. For example, correcting people who misspelled or put out inaccurate information. So it's important for the online community to clarify the issues with the intention of helping and educating and not shaming or to make fun of others. Next, I will point out about friends, family, and acquaintances. Being active on social media platforms enables you to communicate with friends and family, as well as meeting new people online. However, having people you know share an online social platform can act as a support system for the unpredictable nature of today's social media. Family and friends can monitor each other on social media as well as provide help when navigating throughout the internet. Oftentimes, we see teenagers ask their parents when they think about a picture or a post prior to uploading it. So in accordance to this, it helps them prevent errors and create a fun and loving online environment. Moving on, we have enforcement. We know that each social media application has their own community guidelines. It covers the types of content, the use of words, the motives, triggers caused by a post. So even on online, there are rules that need to be followed by everyone. Accounts that violate community guidelines are given warnings, so have their posts taken down, be censored, or even get suspended. For example, sometimes there are videos of people pulling off stunts and getting injured that may come off as comedy, but to some who can't take the sight of blood or wounds might find the online experience very displeasing. Very displeasing, so platforms will give a warning prior to playing the video, or in severe cases, if the post is too violent or extreme, that it may even be deleted. Second, I'll be talking about education. Education can be broken down further into two formal and informal education. Formal education refers to the structured education system involving a learning institution. The integration of cyber ethics into the teaching and learning program can involve certain subjects like computer science, civic studies, English, and Malay language as well. These subjects can help students to be critical thinkers when coming up with solutions to solve problems faced by the online community. Besides that, guidance from teachers is vital to promote our agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, teachers help students with all sorts of academic and personal issues. Teachers guide students to develop basic learning skills from reading and writing to speaking. Teachers are the first line of contact between the student and the school and can help identify the problems faced by students or whatever necessities they might be lacking. Teachers also play an important role in preventing teenage delinquencies as they help students develop and practice social skills as well as leadership and accountability skills. Yes.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
You said parents and teachers need to do supervision. How about parents and teachers who do misconduct?
Well, that's really up to the parents themselves if they want to be aware of what the students or their children are really doing.
Okay, thank you.
So moving on, ladies and gentlemen, webinars and online platforms. Especially now with travel restrictions and tight SOPs, many classes and workshops have taken to online learning. Online, you can have access to all sorts of information and knowledge. So clearly, digital learning platforms have the potential to promote an appropriate code of conduct for the duration of the class. Workshops can be held to help individuals learn basic computer skills and internet or given help. Besides that, online educational blogs can help bridge the gap between students and experienced professionals, or at least someone relatable. For example, there are student blogs where students from across the country and some even across the globe can chat with each other, sharing their experiences during online learning. All this can help better equip individuals to become responsible internet users. Informally, we have family and friends whom we look up to, grow up with, and are influenced by. Especially parents, they have been providing constant exposure into the world, teaching us to tell apart good from bad. Our education does not begin in school though, it begins at home instead. Parents are responsible for bringing up a child while instilling good manners and moral values. This not only come into play for online platforms, but even real world situations. Essentially, parents have been feeding us information on what to do and what not to do, which are learned lessons one hardly forgets. Moving on, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we've got personal considerations. So the first step to being considerate is self-realization. It's important for one to be completely aware of the situation they are in and the impact of their actions. Sometimes the things we do or say can have a deep and negative implication on another. Therefore, it is important to think before you act and practice self-restriction. It is human nature to have the urge to angrily tell someone off if they might have offended you, but it's vital that we restrict ourselves from making rash and careless decisions. Besides that, everyone needs to work on themselves. With self-realization comes personal internal progress to become a better, more improved version of oneself. It helps to have internal monologues asking yourself is if this is the kind of person I want to be, or how can I be more accommodating for my struggling loved ones. It keeps us grounded and more alert of the problems one might be facing. Finally, mental health. As internet users, we must fully understand the nature of the content we put out. Might it offend someone or be an emotional trauma trigger for someone? We must be mindful towards the feelings of ourselves and others. So we need to ask questions like, how does it make you feel, or how would you feel if it was you or your family in that situation? With that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all very much for our time.
Thank you, Muhammad Fazil, for the proposal. Okay, finally, let us now listen to some constructive points from the proposal by the second presenter of Team C, Taniswaran Tiagu from Sekolah Menengah Kebahasaan Iskandar Shah, Melaka.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes. You can start
Yeah.
now.
Good morning. My name is Taniswaran and I am the second presenter from SMK Iskandar. And today I am going to talk about defamation issue, which is a worldwide problem that creates social disharmony in the society worldwide. First of all, what is defamation? Defamation is an oral or written communication of a false statement about another person that unjustly causing harm to their reputation and usually constitute a tort or a crime. A lot of us might have experienced being harmed before or have done it to others via social media platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and more. But a lot of us have no idea how this act affects others mentally and physically. Defamation ruins the victim's reputation because when a user tries to use a popular celebrity's face to give out a false information or write a bad review about a business company, creates a distrust among their fans and buyers. This ruins their market. When their market is ruined, their yearly endorsement will be low and it may push the celebrity or a company to bankruptcy. Defamation not only affects famous people and companies, it also affects normal users. Nowadays, a lot of us have social media account and likes to post everything we do. This is where everything begins. For example, when we post a pic of ourselves, it can be used for anything. A bad user can Photoshop our face in a crime footage and spread it to others. This might get us into big trouble, which involves the police. Here, I am also going to suggest some ways to stop defamation. First and foremost, we have to be aware of what we are saying. In defamation cases, we are not just liable for what we say expressively, but what ordinary people will read between the lines. Computers do not have emotions to express. We are also liable for publishing a defamatory statement made by someone else, even if we quote them accurately. So, we have to check for any false statement before we post an article about someone else. Secondly, we have to control the meaning. The first battle in a defamatory case is usually over what the word means. When we post an article about someone else, we have to use the proper word because using a false word can change a sentence meaning, and that sentence might cause hurt to the victim unintentionally. Third, when we post an article about someone, post something that brings joy rather than putting down to the person. Before posting something about someone, we have to ask ourselves, is evidence accurate enough to be misunderstanding? Tell yourself, I am a nice person. I don't do bad things to hurt my friends and family. Next, the government had enforced the law of defamation in the Act 574, Penal Code Section 500, to punish users who defame people. According to the law of defamation, whoever defames another person will be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years or with fine or with both if people are still not scared. Higher cyber security experts will create software that stop people from causing harm to vulnerable people. Lastly, I want to talk about some code of ethics that we want to propose to stop defamation. That is, the National Information Technology Department identify fake accounts which is used to defame people and follow suspicious social media accounts to monitor them and to catch them immediately if they commit any cybercrime. Well, I do say The need of censorship is important. This not only helps to control defamation, it also helps to control other cybercrimes. Thank you.
For the proposal. Thank you, Taneswaran, for the proposal. So there we have it, the proposal from all the teams competing in this session of our octo finals. Okay, now we move into the core section of the discourse, which is You Have My Interest. The session will now allow 3 minutes for the POEs to discuss on the question. Alternatively, we will continue if the POEs are ready. Are POEs all ready? Okay, now I would like to call upon any members of our esteemed panel of experts or POEs who would like to seek clarification from the teams today. As a gentle reminder, this session will last for 15 minutes. Okay, now POE, you now have the stage.
Yeah, thank you, Puan Razia, for the, for chairing this session. I am Dr. Zahari. I am the Chief POE for this session, session 1. Perhaps I would like to give the opportunity to other POE to provide your question. Encik Yusri ataupun Dr. Rozana, you may proceed first.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Zari. A very good morning to all of you. Assalamualaikum. I just one question for team number 1, the first team, team A. I noticed that you plan to develop an app, right? Which is actually great. So, but then I just want to know, how do you plan to tackle the issue of data security? You know, when you develop an app and you are hosting the data, so how do you plan to tackle the issue of data security to ensure that it doesn't go to the unauthorized parties? Yeah, to team A, please. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. Can this app be created? It only yes, it only has 10 steps how to create an app for beginners. A house is not only built by a contractor, but also involved with other contributions such as plumbers, electrical, labor, architect, and many more. Same goes for the app. We also have other specialties who will take charge in certain aspects, like the security and protecting the data. These specialties are teacher, PTD, and parent specialty. The data can be stored by the responsibilities teacher at PPD. So, well, that's it, I think.
Okay, thank you for your idea. Yeah, so I give it back to Dr. Zari. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Encik Yusri, you can start first, Encik Yusri.
Yeah, can I point out a question to Team B? Team B from Victoria. For the first speaker, you said that you try to avoid sensitive topics.
True.
From all the users. All right. So basically, this is when we say about internet, it is a global things, which everyone can access, everyone can view, everyone can comment if they have the link, right? So how do you want to avoid the sensitive topics where everyone can say whatever they want, especially on their personal social media? Can you explain more about that?
Okay, so the thing about sensitive topics, sometimes there are conversations that you need to have. You know, you shouldn't just avoid them completely. So I think the trick to tackling sensitive topics at a global scale is everybody should just develop this mindful thinking, their mindset. They should be considerate of others when they are talking about it, because you definitely shouldn't avoid the topic, because I mean, avoiding it is one thing, of course, but you need to tackle the sensitive issues as well, because these issues, these topics that we deem sensitive, they are problems that certain communities face. So I guess to put it at a global scale, it's all about like internally, like um the internal thinking, the the personal perspective. It's about people's individual decisions, because we cannot control what people think, right? So um like because these sensitive topics, like I mentioned earlier, they are conversations to be had. So how long will they have to be a sensitive topic? When will we be able to solve these issues? So we need to have this conversation. So we shouldn't avoid it completely. Basically, that's what I'm saying. So I think that's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Nazrin, for your feedback. Okay, since we have, we have gone through with Team A and Team B, my question is to Team C then, right? Team C, right? If I can refer to your presentation just now, right? Your presentation focus, your solution, very much focused on defamation, right? And defamation is just one of the issues that I would say, currently there are so many issues, right? But I thought that we want to tackle, a comprehensive, comprehensive kind of issues, not only defamation, right? The topic is about code of ethics, right? In combating online social disharmony, right? Just wondering, right? Why you are focusing on defamation in your proposal? Over to you, Team C. Team C, please respond.
Okay. The reason we are focusing on defamation because everyone nowadays reads newspapers and surfing social media all and we can see a lot of cases, a lot of things about defamation. So
Yeah, I'm listening.
we thought defamation. We think that defamation is a very big problem because if defamation can affect a company, if people defame, if people write anything that's not true about a company, it can affect their market, and if their market is affected, their yearly endorsement will be low and they will be pushed to bankruptcy. So we think defamation is a big problem, and it can affect our country's economy. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Tanis Warren, for your feedback. We have about 5 minutes to go. Any other POE that would like to pose question? Cik Yusri ataupun Dr. Rozana? Tak ada. Kalau tak ada, saya nak tanya Team B. Sorry, Team B. Anyone from Team B here? Right. You have proposed, I would say, three main component, right? You know, supervision, education, and personal consideration. Am I right?
True.
Correct, right?
Correct.
So, I was wondering, right? Based on my understanding, topic of this discourse is about code of ethics, right? How does supervision, education, and personal consideration relate to the code of ethics? For me, it's just like a program, you know, it's not code of ethics, you know, this is my understanding, you know, it's more towards program rather than code of ethics. Please correct me if my understanding is not right. Team B, over to you.
Okay, so you're right. You're like partially correct. It is sort of like a program, but it is also like a proposal, you know. And within these programs, there are their own sets of, ethical codes, like the code of conduct that you have to carry out. Like, for example, when you're on a platform with your friends and all, you have to, like, as a person, as a user, you have to be aware of what you put out and what your friends put out. And if your friends put out something wrong, then you have to correct it. You have to note their mistake and their error, basically. So I would say that it's understandable that you might have this contradiction, but I think that we are still in line with the topic.
That's all right.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you for your feedback. I think we are almost done. Yeah, almost 50 minutes. Any other questions daripada rakan-rakan POE? Tak ada, eh? All right. On that note, I pass back to Puan Razia. Puan Razia, over to you.
A sincere words of thanks to the panel of experts for their pertinent question to all the teams here on our virtual discourse. Besides, a round of applause to all the presenters from Team A, B, and C. After listening to the presentation and points raised by all the teams, the panel of experts will now proceed to tabulate the scores and decide on the winning team. Request all the teams and viewers to remain online while the POE deliberate. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we all have been waiting for. The announcement of the winning team for today's session that will progress to the next round of the competition and be a step closer to the grand final of NITSEC 2021 virtual discourse. Therefore, I would like to invite the Chief POE to announce the result.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Puan Razia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, selamat pagi. And thank you everyone, for your participation during this morning discourse. First of all, I would like to congratulate everyone, each one of you, for for the very good presentation, discussion, and I'm sure you guys have done good research. I know it's not easy, certainly, and alhamdulillah, I believe you guys have presented well during today's discussion. Sudah semestinya, di mana-mana pertandingan kan akan ada pemenang dan akan ada yang kalah. Jadi I guess I would like you guys to take this very openly, Alright. The POIs, we have deliberated the results, and the results is with me. Again, I would like to congratulate each one of you, for your participation during this event. I would like to announce the winner of this round. Suspend, Okay. The winner is from Terengganu. Yeah, Tanya, Terengganu. Team A from SMK Datuk Razali Ismail, Terengganu. And the best presenter for this session jatuh kepada first speaker team B. Yeah, Haji Nazrin, congratulations, Right. With that note, thank you again for the winner. See you in the next round. And on that note, I pass back to Puan Razia. Puan Razia, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Zahari. A job well done. Okay, the winning team will now move on victoriously to the next round of our competitions. So again, congratulations once again to the winning team, Team A from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Datuk Razali Ismail, Terengganu, and congratulations to Raja Nazrin Afandi bin Raja Kamaru Arifin from Victoria Institution Kuala Lumpur for becoming the best speaker for today's session. To the remaining teams, do not lose heart. For this is the nature of any competitions. We wish you all the best, and we hope to see you even better prepared for the next year's National ICT Security Discourse Cyber Safe Challenge Trophy. We would like to thank all the team members, teachers, students, and online viewers, especially the honorable panel of experts for their participation in today's virtual discourse.